No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of AEW Dynamite for Wednesday. I should know the date. It is my birthday after all, November 22nd. We are on the eve of Thanksgiving, and I would like to give thanks to everybody watching this. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody in the chat room for leaving birthday comments. Dave Scheffler left one, Eric, Don, Matthew, Calvin, Joey, Michael Wayne. Thank you all. I am grateful for all of you. Now, let's get into this show. We were coming off the Full Gear pay-per-view event, and we have another one coming up. AEW starting to do the monthly pay-per-views now. We have World's End to wrap up 2023. We have a tournament leading up to World's End, the Continental Classic, a round-robin tournament. We have two different groups, the gold group and the blue group. If you win a match, you get 3 points. If it's a draw, each person gets a point. And if you lose, you get 0 points. But you're not out of the tournament. There'll be other matches and other opportunities to get points. And that's the goal, to get the most points. Now, we had our first match, which was Swerve Strickland coming off of his big win against Hangman Adam Page at Full Gear in that Texas death match that got so many people talking. It was Swerve versus Jay Lethal. And let's be real here. Jay Lethal is in this tournament because somebody's got to lose some matches. And, well, that's going to be Jay Lethal, especially when no outside interference is allowed in these matches. Tony Khan made it very clear you cannot interfere. Nobody can interfere in this tournament. Everything else is fair game, though. But this tournament is so prestigious. You got 3 championships being merged into one here. You got that Ring of Honor world title. You have the New Japan Strong title. And they're going to make a triple crown championship. So this is a big deal for Tony Khan. No outside interference, damn it. This was a solid match. Crowd was into Swerve, as you would expect, with that big win over Page. And his shoulder was taped up. Jay Lethal was trying to exploit it, and he even raked the eyes of Swerve to gain the upper hand. Swerve was basically the babyface in this match. And Jay Lethal came off the top with a big elbow, but Swerve was able to kick out. Jay Lethal did get in a lot of interference, or not a lot of interference, a lot of offense in this match. I got interference on the brain here. Got in a lot of offense, but ultimately Swerve was able to escape the crossface. He hit the house kick, the house call kick, whatever he calls it, and then the Swerve stomp. Got the 1-2-3 victory. Good start to the show. Then we had video footage from MJF's match. Actually, maybe there wasn't video footage. Maybe I'm mistaken, but we had Wheeler Yuta confronting Orange Cassidy, Hook, and Shibata backstage, and there was a 6-man match, which we'll get to here in just a few moments. We had MJF and Adam Cole, Better Than You, Baby, back on Dynamite. Both of them are injured. MJF was walking out there with a cane. Adam Cole, of course, still injured. Before we get to this, shout out to TJS, who sent in a $9.99 super chat. Thank you for that, Tyler. Says, they say it's your birthday. Well, it's my birthday too, yeah. In my opinion, not one of the better songs. Wow. I'm a little shocked by that, TJS. I think that's a great song. I definitely think if I had to combine the White Album into one, I would include Birthday, no question about it. He says happy birthday. And then he says, Y2J, Edge, or Sting, who is the biggest mainstream AEW star? Also, what was your birthday meal and drink? I had barbecue food and the usual diet soda. That was my exciting birthday food, although it was quite delicious. And biggest mainstream star in AEW, probably Jericho, but Edge had all that TV time in WWE in recent years. I would probably say Jericho, though. I think it's hard to say, but I think because Jericho was a big star at the peak of the Attitude Era, not that Edge wasn't, but Edge was in a tag team. I think that your Attitude Era fans and people that were watching wrestling during that period would probably recognize Jericho a little bit more, but that's just a guess. Like, I really don't know who would be more mainstream of those two. You would have to really survey a lot of people off the street if you wanted to get a decisive answer on that. And shout out to good old JM Jeff Meacham. He said, "Happy birthday, boss. Talk Wrestling coming up after you." That's right. Talk Wrestling was delayed. He was supposed to be doing it earlier, but he'll be on after I'm done. So stay tuned. If you want more wrestling talk, Talk Wrestling is for you on the eve of Thanksgiving. All right. So, anyways, MJF and Adam Cole. MJF put himself over for his big win at Full Gear and then gave props to his brochacho for life, Adam Cole. Adam Cole had a little story time for everybody and said the good news is they're still the Ring of Honor tag champs. The bad news is that he's not even close to being ready yet, unfortunately. But he vowed to be back at 100%. Adam Cole did express his concern about MJF because you got Wardlow, you got the Devil, and then MJF talked about how he's going to find this person behind the mask. And then we had a little brief interruption of the Devil, who started laughing. People on Twitter/X think it's Jack Perry's laugh, but it literally could be anybody's laugh that they just used for this segment to keep people guessing. Samoa Joe came down and brought up how he's supposed to get his rematch. MJF said to blow him. They censored it. Joe was furious, feeling that MJF was not a man of his word, and Adam Cole had to talk MJF into it, saying that what MJF did, turning it down, was what the old MJF would have done. So then MJF did say he would fight Samoa Joe right there in Chicago. That's where Dynamite was this week. But Joe said no, and not because he hates Chicago, which is the standard heel answer. But Joe said he wants MJF at 100%. So he proposed World's End. And MJF accepted this, but said that Joe was an idiot for wanting the match in MJF's backyard. But Joe said he'll have MJF's back and make sure MJF is 100%, makes it to World's End, and then said he will take the title from MJF, and MJF will be embarrassed in front of everyone he knows and loves. And no, TJS, I do not see Samoa Joe beating MJF, but should be a hell of a match. Looking forward to this one. It'll be a very good match with those guys for sure. We had Orange Cassidy and Hook and Shibata versus 2.0, Daddy Magic and Angelo Parker, along with Jake Hager. Man, Jake Hager is really a jabroni now. Like, he has fallen so low. Remember, this guy was a former world champion in WWE, and now he's like basically a curtain jerker who struggles to get TV time. Danhausen returned. Danhausen blocked no DQ. I'm not sure why. I don't think anything negative was ever said about him on the no DQ account, nor my account for that matter. I like Danhausen. I liked his return vignettes with the Halloween 3 reference, the Happy Halloween Silver Shamrock. So what's the deal, Danhausen? Why no love for no DQ? I mean, clearly you're never going to be as great as MJF, just saying. But still, I thought we were cool. Anyways, basic match here. Not much to say about it. Bad guys tried to triple team Shibata, but then Danhausen pulled out Jake Hager's hat, which is still a thing for whatever reason. And then we got the curse. Danhausen cursed Jake Hager, Meanwhile, in the ring, we got dueling submissions for the good guys to pick up the win, submitting 2.0, and that was that. Not much else to say about it. Pretty basic here. Danhausen's back. Whoopee. We had Adam Cole backstage and was interviewed by Renee Paquette, the remarkable Renee Paquette, excuse me. Says he can't wait to get his physical therapy done. And then Roderick Strong rolled in. Adam! And said that when Action Andretti dropped him on his head this past week on Rampage, Cole was nowhere to be found. And Cole said this because Cole said that he's not Strong's best friend anymore, and that's why he did not do anything. And he told Strong to leave him alone. We then had Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne coming to the ring for an entertaining segment, I will say. He basically was pissed off about them losing the 6-man match to Adam Copeland, Sting, and Darby Allin at Full Gear. And he said it was unacceptable, and he was going to recreate them in his own image. He ordered Luchasaurus to take a knee, get on a knee. Luchasaurus was fighting this, but he did eventually do it. And Christian said he has a new name of strength for Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus is going to be the finisher. His new name is Killswitch. And then Nick Wayne got on his knee, but Christian pulled him up, said that Nick is the son he always wanted, and Nick will be known as the Prodigy from now on. And then Nick's mom came to the ring. Nick's mom very upset. Christian called her a terrible mother, said good thing her husband is dead already because Nick would have disowned Buddy Wayne, his father. He told her to leave and get to her $40,000 a year job working at Denny's. Then Killswitch, or Luchasaurus, got in Christian's face. Crowd was chanting Luchasaurus. Christian slapped him and then shoved Luchasaurus into Nick's mom. Nick's mom fell down, and then Christian had Nick get some chairs. They were going to give the concerto to Nick's mom, and then Christian wanted Killswitch to do it, but then finally, I don't know why it took him so long. It felt like he should have shown up way sooner. Adam Copeland, I'm not sure if he was taking a crap backstage or jerking off. I don't know what he was doing, but he took his sweet time coming out there, and he ran down to the ring. He speared Nick Wayne. Christian escaped, and then right in front of Nick Wayne's mother, Adam Copeland gave Nick Wayne the concerto, and Christian was distraught, yelling out, "That's my child!" So it was a very entertaining segment, very WWE-like in my opinion. Very soap opera-like. You got Nick Wayne's mom. Thankfully, she didn't really talk or anything. I will say they did not give her dialogue. I think that was a positive. And the whole thing with her getting knocked down kind of gave me vibes of like when Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho were feuding and Shawn's wife got punched by Jericho. Felt very similar to that type of segment. It was great though. I really liked the segment. And Christian even teased that Luchasaurus might get unmasked at some point if he doesn't cooperate. So they're teasing something here with Luchasaurus, and I guess for now he's Killswitch, but we'll see how long that lasts and where this is going. We had a backstage segment with Anna Jay. She's tired of losing, and she's frustrated with 2.0 and Jake Hager and the whole group. She said that she doesn't know if they're helping her or hurting her. And she said she's going to go out and win her triple threat match for her. She's going to do it for herself. Do it herself. We then had Roosh versus Jay White in another Continental Classic match. The Guns were out there with Jay White. but they were ejected because no outside interference in this tournament. It is forbidden. They brawled on the outside, and Jay was thrown into the barricade multiple times. Roosh wanted to use some cable cords, but the referee said, no, 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 you cannot do that. You'll be DQ'd, and you'll get 0 points. So Roosh got Jay back in the ring, and Roosh got in a good amount of offense in this match, but then he missed a senton. They traded shots, and then Rush was able to avoid the Blade Runner, but then the referee nearly got knocked down, and while the referee was not looking, Jay White hit a low blow, hit the Blade Runner, got the 1-2-3 victory. I mean, when I saw the 3 matches announced for the show, I thought, okay, well, it's very clear who's winning. First match, clear to me that Swerve was winning. You know, he's got a lot of momentum right now. And then in this match, Jay White's winning. He's coming off a loss, so he needs to pick up a win here. And then the third match, we'll talk about in a second. Match was fine, but I think it was probably the weakest of the 3 classic matches. It was just a good match, but nothing out of the ordinary. We also had footage shown from after Full Gear ended when Chris Jericho was attacked by Ricky Starks and Big Bill. They targeted his arm. I'm feeling like this match is going to take place at World's End. Jericho and Kenny Omega going for the tag team titles seems to be a clear direction. And then we had the 9:15, 9:30 segment here before the main event. The women's title presentation to Timeless, Toni Storm, RJ City, and Renee Paquette were basically like presenters at the Oscars. And Toni Storm came up to the stage, gave a speech, and just like during the Academy Awards, they try to end your speech quickly and cut you off. So she got mad. She had to have the music stop playing, and she thanked a bunch of people, thanked the little Toni Storms out there, and then she cued the standing ovation, and it even said standing ovation up on the screen. It was pretty entertaining. I like the gimmick, and, you know, it's creative. It's something different. So, yeah, I liked it. Then we had the one women's match of the evening, and because this is not the prestigious Continental Classic, outside interference is permitted. We had Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho versus Anna Jay. Sky Blue has new music, and this was in Chicago, her hometown, so you know who's winning this one. This was very Attitude Era like, this match, because it was all about the stuff going on outside of the ring. You had Angelo Parker, who is in this romantic relationship now with Ruby Soho, and we got little teases during the match, and Saraya was out there, Daddy Magic. They were not happy with this at all. And then for the finish, Sky Blue kicked Ruby off the apron, and she literally fell into Angelo Parker's arms. And once again, Daddy Magic and Saraya were very upset about this. And back in the ring, Sky Blue pinned Anna Jay, got the win. No big surprise here. Went about as I expected. Match was fine. It was more about the shenanigans. We had Wardlow backstage. He was interviewed and said he's gonna take care of the devil on his time. MJF, he's gonna get him when he's ready. And then AR Fox came in. AR Fox was not amused with Wardlow, so Wardlow gave him a headbutt. And I guess this means we're gonna see Wardlow versus AR Fox. Whoopee. We had our main event of the evening, which was Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe. And they traded shots right away. Briscoe connected with a neck breaker to the floor. And then after the commercial break, Jon Moxley took control. And for once, it wasn't Jon Moxley getting busted open. It was Mark Briscoe. We got a little swerve here. Briscoe was in trouble, but he was able to get out of Moxley's submission. And then Moxley hit the paradigm shift. Briscoe had what they call an adrenaline surge, and he took Moxley down, basically no-selling the move and hitting a move of his own with his little burst of energy. Briscoe then went off the top with his big elbow drop, but Moxley kicked out, and then Moxley avoided the J Driller, hit the Death Rider, but Mark Briscoe kicked out again. And then both guys were fired up. They traded some more shots, and then Moxley finally got the win with the curb stomp, followed by the Death Rider. And afterwards, Moxley was a good sport. He shook Mark Briscoe's hand. And like I said earlier, predictable here. Moxley coming off a big loss. You got to keep him protected. I do think we will get a few draws here. I'm guessing the draws will be when it's big star versus big star. It'll go the 20 minutes. I feel like Moxley's not going to win this. So I could see Moxley being in a draw with somebody, whether it's Jay White or someone like that. I think that's how it's going to play out. Like we'll get one or two draws with the big stars, and that's how they're not going to win the tournament because they'll only get the 1 point. But all in all, good Dynamite. I do like the tournament idea. I'm pretty entertained with it, and I'm curious to see how it plays out. So I did like the show. I did like the Christian segment. I did like the MJF segment. We had a good balance, good wrestling, and some intriguing promo segments, some soap opera stuff. Nice little balance here. So I thought it was a very good show. I'm going as high as a B+. I thought it was an entertaining Dynamite, and I liked the variety on this show. Wasn't really bored with it at all. Only real criticism would be that I think the matches, in particular, the Continental Classic matches, were very predictable, but good wrestling all around and a very solid show. So that's all I got. Thank you all again for the birthday comments, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the very latest wrestling news and rumors. Have a great Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there. If you're going out on Black Friday, check out the Jeff Meacham Network. If you're watching this live right now, Jeff is going live. Check his stuff out. Take care, everybody. See you all next time, and buy a shirt. NoDQ.com/merch. Pick up a Say Yeah to NoDQ.com shirt. Head over there, and I'll see you all next time.